coming to the Yontiv of Shavuos, and the fascinating thing about Shavuos, the Mishnah says, the Gemara says,
you are on the fastest route. You should reach your destination by 5:02 p.m.
I'm sorry about that. I took this off. The Mishnah says, Ein maftirin Maaseh merkavah. That we don't use the first chapter of Ezekiel. It's what it seems to be talking about for a haftarah. It's a halacha, according to the Mishnah, that we don't follow. Of course, there are many things like that. There are many times generally, when you have a halacha that's not ein halacha k'mayhu, it's when you have a machloikas, you have different opinions as to this one says this and this one says that, and whoever the majority opinion is what the Chazal codified, essentially, the Sanhedrin, and that's when eventually we had quotes of Jewish law, the Rambam, Shulchan Aruch. Generally, it would follow the majority opinion. Similarly, when you had, there are certain times we know the halacha is like this one, the halacha is like that one, the halacha is like Beis Hillel over Beis Shammai, Ein halacha k'Rabbi Shimon, different things like that. It's different. We have general rules throughout Shas. Here, this Mishnah, we don't have a machlokes, and yet they're telling us ein maftirin, and yet I'm going to leave the audio on this so I know where I'm going with that. I'm not so familiar with this area, so I apologize if the GPS makes another noise. So, ein maftirin b'Maaseh merkavah, and yet the thing is, in Yecheskel you have more than one Maaseh merkavah. But sof kol sof, we do make a haftarah for the Maaseh merkavah, and that is on the first day of Shavuos. I remember asking my math teacher, why is
in 2 miles, take exit 41B for I-80 West for Delaware Water Gap.
Why is the haftarah for Shavuos? Why is it for the Maaseh merkavah? And she said, what do you mean? That's the whole revelation. So the Gemara in Bava Basra talks about the Talmidim of Hillel, and he said, it spoke about the greatness of his Talmidim. Rabbi Yonasan ben Uziel was the greatest of his Talmidim, and Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, who was basically the one who brokered the deal that allowed Torah to continue. Tein li yavne v'chachameha. What tremendous schus Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had.
In a half mile, take exit 41B for I-80 West for Delaware Water Gap.
It says in the Gemara that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was the least of the Talmidim, and yet he knew everything.
Take exit 41B.
Halacha, Bagadata, and Drashim, and all of these things.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-80 West.
But then it discusses the language of the demons, and the language of the angels, and the language of the birds, and the secrets of all these different secrets. And then it ended off with Davar Gadol or Davar Katan. Something big and something small. And it says, what's a Davar Gadol? What's a big thing? What's a big deal? It's Maaseh merkavah. What's a small deal? It's the Maaseh Devai Varava. could that be a small deal? The Abaye and Rava weren't even born yet for many generations.
Continue on I-80 West for 9 miles.
I mean, the simple meaning is that the discussions that they had predated them, and they were only holding on to older questions. But it's also possible that Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai was on such a level that he channeled Abaye and Rava even before their neshamas came into this world. And it's possible we could say that was accomplished through the Maaseh merkavah. So what is the Maaseh merkavah? You know, it's the chapter in Ezekiel, a darshan b'Maaseh merkavah, el v'yachid, afilu b'yachid, el im kain maven medaitai. Maven medaitai. Only talk about Maaseh merkavah to someone who already knows Maaseh merkavah. What does that mean? How do you get to know it? How do you learn the Maaseh merkavah if nobody taught it to you? So the answer would have to be that it's something that you know inherently. Now, I can't pontificate exactly what the Maaseh merkavah is. Of course, there are many, many different interpretations of what's the Maaseh merkavah. But the thing is it's important to know. I mean, we look at our liturgy. We daven every day. Daven, of course, the Shemona Esrei 3 times a day. But when we get to the Birkas Kriya Shema in the morning, there's this tremendous angelology that discusses Maaseh merkavah. We know that the Chazal say that what Yeshayahu and Navi saw is the same what Cheskel and Navi saw. That Isaiah saw the same vision in Isaiah 6 as Ezekiel saw in Ezekiel 1. How could that be? They're quite different. And there are different explanations of it. One is that Yeshayahu Hanavi, he was like he was like someone who was a minister in the palace. He's part of the king's palace. And so, to describe all the details of what he saw, it's where he works every day. That's nothing special. What's special is the message that he received that particular day, that we see in Isaiah 6. Because, he saw it the aliens, they assume that the aliens that they are watching, that they are seeing.
In 2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 34B for New Jersey 15 North toward Jefferson, Sparta.
They assume that this must be talking about aliens who come in a flying saucer that's somehow just a little bit better than the rocket ships that we use to go into space. And those rocket ships are just a little bit better than an airplane. And the airplanes are just a little bit better than a car. And a car just a little bit better than a boat. Just a little bit better than a wagon, than a horse pulls. There's really not much difference between any of these things that we know about on Earth. The thing is that what these flying saucers are? And the answer has to be a resounding no. Meaning, the Ofanim Merkavah Kodesh are not aliens and flying saucers as we would assume from like a 50s sci-fi movie.
In a half mile, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 34B for New Jersey 15 North toward Jefferson, Sparta.
That's not, that's not what the Ofanim Merkavah Kodesh are, but often when people think that that's what they're seeing, these type of UFOs.
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 34B.
The question is it possible that they are seeing the Ofanim Merkavah Kodesh?
Continue on New Jersey 15 North for a half mile. In a half mile, continue on to New Jersey 15 North.
Now, the traditional Jewish answer would be Ein Hashchina Shara El Yisrael Eretz Yisrael Kedoima, that revelations of prophecy just don't happen these days. And so how could it be that someone was claiming he saw the flying saucer?
Continue on New Jersey 15 North for a half mile.
That he saw the Maaseh merkavah. The answer that I have is like this. The issue of visions, the lack of...
In a quarter mile, continue straight to stay on New Jersey 15 North.
Excuse me. The lack of prophecy in our era. What does that mean? Does that mean
Continue straight to stay on New Jersey 15 North.
that the tools of prophecy are no longer with us? The tradition
Continue on New Jersey 15 North for 17 miles.
The tradition I received is a resounding no. The tools by which prophecy was attained in the era of prophecy are still totally available to us. It's the best explanation I've heard is like this: is that you can go up to where prophecy is. You can go to the door. The only thing is that the door is locked. That's the best mashal that I've heard on this subject. Meaning, it's not to say you cannot go there. It's just that you're not going to get prophecy. So what's the difference? So what can you get? Well, it's well known that there still exists today an Indian like Ruach HaKodesh. Even, in the post-prophetic era, there was still the basketball. And that these types of revelations similar example I could give is like this. You turn on your radio, especially you have the old analog radios. You get a lot of static. Sometimes through the static you hear a little bit something, but you can't really make it out. Sometimes you'll have even two stations competing with each other on the same frequency. And so it's a whole cacophony. And so that's what we have. We just don't know how to tune our radios. I remember, now you don't have analog television anymore, but I remember when I was a kid, you would sometimes see a shadow image, a ghost image on the TV, because there was a frequency going through that you missed out on, that you're getting through. That's what we have.
Turn right onto New Jersey 15 North.
We still have this Inyan of we can go into other spiritual realms just through our mind, but we lack all clarity in it. And so that's why I don't deny these stories that you hear of people, even from other traditions, who have spiritual teachings and spiritual revelations. The problem is, there's no
Continue
clarity.
on New Jersey 15 North for 14 miles.
There's no clarity.
In 500 feet, turn left onto New Jersey 15 South.
And so
Turn left onto New Jersey 15 South.
That's what we're dealing with. So yes, you can have an unclear vision.
Continue on New Jersey 15 South for a half mile.
Of the Maaseh merkavah, but it's not the vision of Yecheskel. And anyone could have it. And these things are really all around us. Our eyes are closed. We're blind to this truth. But it's there, it exists. And that's what we have to know. That's what we have to become aware of. Alright. Well, thank you for watching. So how do we tune our radio, though? That's the question. Right? Don't you want to be able to tune the radio and get a clear signal? So the way we do it is through Torah mitzvahs. That's how. That's the only way we can do it. It's through Torah and mitzvos. Then we, and the thing is, that doesn't always do it, but it tends to. And people, they tend to be aware, the pain of sin also, numbs us to spiritual truths, and the power of mitzvos makes us more aware of these spiritual truths. And so it could be when you're davening chakras, or when you say the Kedusha, if you really picture what's really going on,
in a quarter mile, turn left.
You're going to find yourself tapping in a little bit to that Maaseh merkavah. Should be all zeiche.
Turn left toward New Jersey 15 North.
Alright, well, thank you for watching. God bless you. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we should be zeiche to a gewaltige and lichtige Kabbalah Torah call to.